Welcome to the Fifth and Goal Sports Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Aaron, Josh, and Johnny.
Welcome to the show. Listeners, viewers, or both, because you're probably not just viewing and not listening. I hope you're doing well. Happy second round of the NBA NHL playoffs. We're going to jump right into that. Guys, I've got a question for you. And this does not seem like it's related to anything, and I promise it is. What is your favorite collection of animals? And by that, I mean, like, a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. A group of crows is called a murder. Do you have a favorite? There's probably a word for this, but the collective, what's your favorite collective noun for an animal?
This is a great question, Aaron. I'm glad you asked it. I love that it is a congress of baboons.
Yeah, that's great.
Pretty accurate. I will go with, this is hard. This is a hard question. I didn't have as many of these in my repertoire before I went to Africa. I'm going to say a tower of giraffes. Tower.
Oh, that's good.
I love a tower of giraffes.
That's very good. Just a quick Google search. There's a congregation of alligators. That's amazing.
Amen.
A conspiracy of lemurs. That's
great.
One of my favorites
so
as well.
Good.
Apparently, most people would think of penguins, and apparently colony is the right word, but Google is telling me a tuxedo of penguins.
No, I don't. That's fake. That's AI.
Johnny, here's the thing. Technically, a congress of baboons is not the zoological term. It is something that we have determined to call them. Technically, the term is family. However, potentially banned. Those don't matter. It's a congress of baboons.
Yeah.
Do you think some serious, nerdy, glasses-wearing scientist in 1903 saw a flamingo for the first time and was like, these are called a flamboyance? He didn't. He probably called them a family or a group, and that's stupid. Fun people went, yeah, this is a flamboyance of flamingos. So technically, it's probably colony of penguins because of the documentaries. But open your heart. Freeman. Open your heart, Johnny.
Yeah. Now,
it's truly a tuxedo of them.
That's right. Guys, here's my bad segue into our sports topic for the night. What do you call a collection of group sevens? A stress of game sevens?
Ooh.
In the Eastern Conference, a stupid of game sevens.
Yeah. Well, I like that.
And hey, welcome back, folks. We got a great stupid tonight for you.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a lot of game sevens, particularly in the NBA and particularly in the East. There was one game seven in the NHL, and it feels appropriate now that the first round of each respective playoffs has wrapped up. That's kind of where we start. The big news for us on this show is that my Detroit Pistons and Johnny's Cleveland Cavaliers have both won their respective game sevens and are moving on to play one another. So we're going to bury the lead a little bit and talk about the other game sevens that also happened, because Boston. Oh, Boston. What happened to you?
No.
Philadelphia comes from 3-1, wins game 5 and game 7 in Boston, in the Garden. Yikes. What do you guys think?
Lovely.
Oh, couldn't happen to a better team.
A more deserving city. The Bruins get taken out by the Sabres in the first round. Like, Celtics get 3-1 by Joel Embiid in the process because they can't stop shooting threes. Like,
it's been a great month for Boston.
Really shooting threes.
Some other developing stories in the Patriots. It's just been a whole. What's one more than a trifecta? A quadfecta.
Mm-hmm. Good.
They deserve it.
I'm
deserve
so
all of it.
tired. Hey, maybe you guys can actually suffer for a decade or 2 or 3 before, you taste some success again. Maybe
Josh,
let
they
somebody
could
else.
go 50 years and have a prohibition of championships, and they wouldn't remotely have suffered the equivalents of Cleveland or Minneapolis
No.
or a number of other cities. It still wouldn't.
There were
It still wouldn't make up
discussions,
for it.
not to speed us into our discussion on the East, but there was a lot of discussion on my side of Twitter where people outside of the Cavs fan base talking about, hey, why are Cleveland fans so like hard on this team? I thought Cleveland sucked and everyone was just happy to be there. It's like, no, guys, the Cavs are the one team to escape the cycle.
Yeah.
And then just once, few runs, but like
greatest player ever.
It took the greatest player ever
to be born there.
It took a guy. Yeah. You think a guy who is so good, he has played against 35% of all NBA players, wants to stay in Cleveland long enough to do a championship there? He went because he was from there.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be in Cleveland, except now I'm seeing a bunch of people in Cleveland, maybe transplants.
Cleveland's cool, man. It's not
cool.
as bad as people say.
You have to read. It is a coastal town. You have to think of it, and you view it as a coastal town.
It is a coastal town. Good, Josh. I like this rebranding.
This is how we brand it. Put some lighthouses up.
Well, there are lighthouses.
Put more up. Paint them all the cool stripy colors.
Yeah.
Boston, though, was... I just... Listen, I understand. It's get depth, get a million people who can shoot threes, right? But nobody said only shoot threes, except for Boston, apparently. Like, Aaron, those were me in the gym shooting those bricks. They were awful. They were terrible decisions to take the threes. You're down 1 with like 4 minutes to go.
Well, Johnny, to be fair, you didn't have anything to lose.
I have nothing.
You were having fun. You were having fun.
Like, I'm just hanging out in the gym. Great point, Josh. What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think we almost took for granted like Jason Tatum coming back and like, oh man, he's back. Like the Celtics have stayed afloat all season. And from the beginning, I was kind of like, man, I don't know if I want him to come back just like for his own sake and his health. And I hope he's okay. Like he obviously did not play in Game 7. That certainly had an effect. Like not having a healthy Jason Tatum. I'm not saying they win because they were losing Game 6 anyway with him before he went off with the injury. But that has an effect. They're not athletic enough at guard. They're only shooters. And with like the departure of like Al Horford, like they don't have that hybrid big to help out anymore underneath. So they got to retool this roster. As every team in the NBA does now, really, even after you win a championship, there are no more hold on to the pieces we have for the next run, unless you are a rare team like an OKC or San Antonio, who got that young core all together from the draft. And even then, they will not be able to afford to keep all of those guys. So they still will have to rotate through those players eventually as well. They won't be able to hold on to all of them. OKC has 1 million first-round picks, so they'll just replace them. But
it's crazy.
You know, you get my point. You can't afford with the new salary cap rules to just hang on to these guys, even if you could. And that's the big thing, honestly, from Boston after last year. They lost a lot of their depth. Like Drew Holiday, gone.
Oh, yeah.
Porzingis, gone. Like important people who you might not see on a box score,
Blue Cornet,
lighted up everywhere, but they were vital and valuable in key moments of their playoff runs, and they're gone. And those guys were really, really important, and I think we undervalued them and what their worth was to the Celtics, because a lot of those guys were kind of hybrid type players too, and they're gone. So I'm not crying any tears. I mean, I think most people had the Celtics in the NBA Finals, really, mostly because of how weak the East is. I think we've seen how weak the East is in that first round, which is why you had so many long series. I mean, the one series that didn't go 7 went 6. So it was a good time in the East as far as if you were a neutral watcher, but when you had a team in it, it was horrible. That was a horrible watch. I hated watching the Cavs in this series. It was horrible.
Yeah. Johnny, I think you hit the nail on the head as far as the threes. The irony of it is that the Celtics game plan, like they're kind of heavy analytics, like shoot the three because it's worth more points. Like, and the goal is to score the most points. Like I get all that. That style of play did get them to a 2 seed without Jason Tatum. The problem becomes when that plan backfires, it really backfires. And we've seen this throughout NBA history. Now it's a little bit more pronounced, as we've kind of developed the three even more. But think of like James Harden back with the Rockets when they go like 0 of 27 or whatever. The Rockets went in a critical game of the playoffs from deep, and then it just like completely disintegrated from there. So yeah, it really gets ugly. And you're right, down the stretch, it was not pretty for Boston. But on the other side, for the 76ers, Joel Embiid, a healthy Embiid, it was good to see because we have not seen a healthy Embiid really in like it feels like 2 or 3 years. And when he's right, man, and you pair him up with that dynamic duo of Maxey and Edgecombe, I love those two a lot.
And George Paul showed up too, Aaron.
Yes, he did.
He was there. Like you
talked about the weakness of the East. Like, if I gave you any of the 4 teams remaining now, Pistons, Cavs, Sixers, Knicks, would you be totally shocked if like any one of them make the NBA finals at this point?
No.
Yeah.
They're all horribly flawed.
Yeah.
They're all
my team can't
horribly flawed. Yeah, right. Except for Cade. And Cade's even had
Tobias Harris in game 7.
Ugly games too. Like it's not like Cade's been perfect the whole time either. If Orlando doesn't forget how to score, they win that in game 6.
Yeah.
What was that, a 22-point lead that they had? In the
24-point lead. They scored 19 points in the second half, the lowest scoring half in NBA playoff history. Thank you, Orlando.
Like they just, and I mean, Aaron, I'm watching that game, and that's where it felt like in general, the East, I'm like, man, the East is awful. Part of me started thinking if LeBron and the Lakers were in the East, this feels like an old-fashioned Cavs team that he might drag kicking and screaming to the East, to the NBA Finals. Like literally, this is one of those years where you could see that. Even without Doncic and Reeves healthy, like heck, I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers were in the East and they made the finals. But like but I'm watching Desmond Bane, Aaron, when Orlando can't score in that game 6. He is just jacking up threes. And I'm like, dude, and he's backing up. He's taking another step back every time he's taking a 3. And I feel like and this is why that style of play, when you are so rigid and stuck with that style of play and you get to the playoffs, do you have the second pitch? Are you able to adjust based on the game script? That's not abandoning your identity. What's going on in the game? What's going on in the game? The threes aren't going in tonight. They're just not. Okay, what do we do when that happens? It's like these teams didn't know what to do. Like that never happened before, which is bogus.
It happened to Orlando in Orlando. That was the shocking part.
But it happens all the time. It happens in basketball. You just go cold from distance, even when you're open. It's not always about open. I'm not making this shot today, this type of shot. It's not always a 3, but it's just, I'm not making that shot. Okay, where do we go next? And it's like these teams had no idea, which is coaching, which is why the Magic fired their coach today.
Yeah.
And it's why probably a lot of Celtics fans wouldn't mind firing Mazzulla. They won't.
That's crazy. You don't do that.
But Aaron, there's plenty of Celtics fans today saying that.
Sure, because you lost to Philly one time. Yes.
Right, but you also get it in the sense of that's where coaching is supposed to step in.
Yeah.
The players should know better than, hey, you missed this same shot 5 times. Maybe let's try something else. But that is also coaching. Where what are you reinforcing in these timeouts? Are you reinforcing them going downhill and getting into the lane, going to driving to the rim? The Cavs, they looked like they're losing that game to the Raptors for that whole first half until the last 2 minutes of it. because they finally started playing defense and they finally started driving to the rim on a mission, specifically Donovan Mitchell doing it and not playing passive. They were so passive before then.
And you got Jared Allen to cover for another James Harden Game 7 performance, quite frankly.
Harden was terrible again.
Yeah. Jared Allen was absolutely brilliant. At some point in this series between the Cavs and the Pistons, some combination of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley and Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, and they're gonna collide at the top, at the epicenter of the hoop, and their hands are gonna come together for a block. And you know how it's like a Superman versus Batman movie, like some superhero movie, someone's like laser eyes meet with someone's like invincibility fist or whatever, and then the whole world explodes. That's what's gonna happen. Maybe once a game.
Difference is, though, Aaron, your guys are a lot more durable than mine when it comes to that.
To this point.
Not as much Mobley, I should say. Allen is fragile when it comes to that. And I think the key
points in the paint are going to be an absolute war.
The key in our series is going to be, obviously, if the Cavs just light it up from 3 with Merrill and Strus, then they got you on that night. I don't think they're going to do that enough to win the series. I think there will be a game where the Cavs are probably just lighting it up from 3 and the Pistons don't have an answer. Yeah. But I think the actual decisiveness of this game, who wins, is if Evan Mobley is able to operate properly against Stewart and Duren. It's always been about Mobley for the Cavs. Part of the reason the Cavs haven't achieved what they want to achieve is because they've always assumed Evan Mobley is going to take the next step. He hasn't yet. Doesn't mean he can't. Hasn't yet. Because he's one of the best 4s in the entire league with what he's able to do, offense, defense, both ways, run the floor, passing, scoring. But he's not aggressive and assertive enough. And now you have 2 ball-dominant players in Donovan Mitchell and James Harden on your team, and you don't demand the ball. That has to happen in this game at some point. And I know you're going to have a very difficult time. But Mobley's also going to be able to pull Duren or Stewart away from the rim as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavs almost just try to do that to give Donovan Mitchell and James Harden some sort of cutting lanes. Because otherwise, you're right. I don't know how you operate in the paint there. But I wouldn't be surprised to have some low-scoring games in this series.
I wouldn't either. My thought, I kind of like the Pistons in this series. Like, again, trying to remove my fandom and just kind of look at it objectively for 2 seconds. Then I'm right back into it. Right back into my TikTok feed, which is just feeding me Detroit Pistons winning. I think the Cavs get an early one. I think they get game 1 or 2 because and now I know the Cavs Raptors series, it was games, 7 games, physical, all that. The Pistons Magic series was football played on wood. Yeah. And I think if the Pistons, because again, they just played yesterday, they're playing tomorrow, they're in that rhythm. They're in that rhythm. This may not get called the same way. So you could have a situation where in a game 1, oops, everyone's got 3 fouls and it's the first quarter, depending on how this game is called. Not that the Cavs can't play physical, but they don't have the beef that the Magic do, and the Paolo Banchero and the Wendell Carter, and even Desmond Bane is huge, just jacked. So they don't necessarily have that in terms of physique. So I'm very interested to see if how this is called. But I think you're right. I think low scoring, more defensive minded could be in play here again, in potentially another slugfest in the East. Obviously, the West. Things happening. The Oklahoma City Thunder opened as a 15.5-point favorite against the Los Angeles Lakers in game 1. You kind of understand it. You kind of hope it doesn't work out that way, but you kind of understand it, especially with probably no Luka for a little while longer. Timberwolves versus Spurs, very interesting. And then, of course, the other series, New York Knicks versus the Philadelphia 76ers. So let's go from the court to the ice. Last week, Josh, you talked about this Dallas Stars, Minnesota Wild matchup, your Central Division rivals. I believe it was 2-2 when we last talked, and unfortunately, it's
not quite the same.
Not happening.
There was some excitement. Hey, we remembered how to win, and then The Wild won and got out of the first round for the first time in like a long time, which is really good for them.
Yeah.
It's a really big. There's lots of news stories that have been covering the like historic nature of this and what it means for the state of Minnesota and for the state of hockey in general, and that's really good. But
I'm sorry, Josh. I'm actually pleased Minnesota won too. Minnesota should be good at hockey. It's
so
bad
good.
that they're bad at hockey.
They need to be good at hockey.
I'm tired of Florida teams. Florida teams being good at hockey is dumb.
Warm weather.
You don't have to worry about Florida teams anymore.
I know.
They gone.
And here's the thing. I'm not the least bit bummed that I don't have to worry about one of the most coastal states getting, and coastal in the warm weather sense. All right. I'm tired of a place that has never had ice ever in its life going, hey, let's be the best at hockey. So I get it. On the Star side, cool. We need a cold weather team to dominate again. But sometimes Dallas is cold and people don't. Right. Canada. Real close, but these technicalities do matter.
Yeah. Well, Canada's down to their final team, and that is the Montreal Canadiens, which good for them. They win in Tampa Bay, Game 7. That's the other Game 7 I mentioned earlier. 9 total shots on goal, but that's all it took to win 2-1. That was that's kind of how this series was bookended, because they scored like 4 goals on 22 shots, I believe the number was, in Game 1. They bookend that with just a wild 2-1 victory in Game 7. There was a couple overtime games in that series, lots of hate, lots of angst, as we will continue to see in the NHL playoffs. Josh, now that the Stars are gone, do you have a team that you're kind of pulling for to win this thing, or are you just like, hockey, it's dead to me, Stars are out, so I'm out?
The Stars were supposed to be my backup team to be happy about occasionally when I remembered
this team right here.
After that team right there,
Blue Jackets
did sad things, and so I can't pick a third team.
I respect that.
No, you can't. Sorry,
right. It's sadness for you.
There's not a third conference to pick.
No,
from.
There's not a third conference to pick from.
But speaking of the Wild, did you guys see that game against Colorado last night, being Sunday? 9-6.
Oh my goodness!
Like, what the heck?
Almost had more runs scored more goals scored than the Reds gave up runs this weekend.
I know. The fact that you had the Canadiens Lightning played before that game is crazy. Like, just wild. But yeah, I mean, Avalanche get that one. The top seed's looking strong still right now. There's chaos around them. But Carolina looks really good. They're up 1-0. They're playing Game 2 tonight against the Flyers, who were really hot, but the Hurricanes just stomped them in Game 1. So
yeah,
those guys look really, really good right now.
Yeah, they do. The top seeds from each respective conference, 10-0. Those, incidentally, are the 2 teams I had in my Stanley Cup championship prediction. So I'm hoping that sticks. And then obviously 2 other series that will start either tonight or tomorrow. You've got the Anaheim Ducks winning 4-2 over the 2-time defending Western Conference champions Edmonton Oilers versus the Vegas Golden Knights. And then, of course, the Montreal Canadiens take on the Buffalo Sabres. Some interesting comments coming from Edmonton. If you saw those, sort of the quote from Connor McDavid was like, well, we were an average team, so what'd you expect? Like, yeah, but you were the 2 seed in the division. Like, I know the Pacific Division was kind of terrible and it didn't get decided until like the very end, but like, average team, okay, but you had a better record than the team you were playing. The team you were playing didn't have any Stanley Cup playoff experience really at all, and you and your team had made 2 straight Stanley Cup finals. So, like, I understand what you're trying to say. Like, we just didn't feel like we had it this year. We weren't good enough. I understand that, but it's a little odd, I think, how that's coming across. But I also know he's saying that in the moment after just getting eliminated. So, maybe he'll clarify some things here in Cancun or wherever he will go to vacation this summer, I guess.
Yeah, he gets to Cancun. He's not stuck in Galveston.
That's right. Yeah, so that's the NBA. That's the NHL. I don't know about you guys, but I'm rooting for more Game 7s, more stress of Game 7s. Well, I'm not really rooting for that for Detroit, Cleveland, but Johnny, we feel destined for that anyways.
The other series.
Yeah, everyone else. Yep.
LeBron's going to find a way.
I want that.
At this point, at what point does it? I realize, and I saw this. I didn't save the tweet, but Stephen A. Smith. Oh no! I'm sorry. Not even that.
Josh, you're right. No, you're right. Call this out. You're right.
Yeah. So here's the thing: Stephen A. Smith and Colin Cowherd are reuniting, I believe, tomorrow. But if you're listening to this yesterday. Yeah, for a generational hate watch.
I did not know this.
Next series. Yeah, you guys talk about is it at this point disrespectful to be comparing him to MJ?
I thought you were going to bring up the fact that we had all these Game 7s. The playoffs have been really, really fun, especially in the East. The West was actually really tame. Especially outside of Denver, Minnesota. And first take, per usual, Monday morning is going again. Who's better, LeBron or MJ? And I'm like, guys, these are footnotes on LeBron's career at this point. Nobody's going to talk about this series. It's a marvel that he did it, but nobody really cares in the long run. And also, nobody cares about this discussion right now. Talk about the fact that Philly beat Boston in a series for the first time since the 80s.
Yeah.
Talk hey, preview that series. Is Joel Embiid healthy? He took a knock to his knee towards the end of that game. Talk about that. There's so much good to talk about. Talk about real ball, not just storylines too. And bringing that up, it's terrible. That's what I thought you were going to say, Josh. But
no,
tell me about Cowherd and.
Sorry, not Cowherd. I was some other person who I wasn't really in the mood to listen to anyway. Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless are doing First Take this Friday.
What? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll probably tune in if I can.
No, I'm going to tune in. No, I'm going to watch.
Oh, no.
So, a generational. This is according to Legion Hoops.
It's going to do good numbers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are we sure this is real? This is certified Rotten Tomatoes?
Do we know, is Skip Bayless alive?
I've seen him have horrible takes on some other people's podcasts. So
okay.
Yeah, it's per Front Office Sports. So exclusive Skip Bayless. Yeah, so it's the first time since 2016. Man,
time flies. A decade.
Time flies. Multiple 3-1 comebacks. The Cavs and Pistons in the playoffs. Thunder with an elite big three. A 60-game winning Spurs, and Stephen A. Smith on First Take. We're really just speed running 2016.
By the way,
someone's going to shoot a gorilla.
5 Game 7 wins in a row by the Cavs. Second longest streak ever. 5 Game 7 wins in a row.
Great.
Yeah.
Going back to those NBA Finals in 2016.
Wow. Speaking of, this will be our transition out of this segment into the next. Do you guys want to, for memory's sake, bring back Skip's all-time terrible hockey take? Here it is.
The game's just too hard to play. I mean, you got humans on ice skates, on ice, with sticks, trying to handle a puck that reaches speeds of over 100 miles an hour flying across the ice. It's like one long, continuous mistake.
Thank you, Skip.
All right, man of the people.
Yeah, we'll let that just
the dumb
picks
people
of the week.
Sometimes the guys make picks based on their vast knowledge of sports. Sometimes they make picks based on vibes.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Maryland takes down Florida.
Chop this one up for the Gators. Chop a national championship for Florida.
Either way, they're probably going to be wrong. It's time for Picks of the Week.
Well, we are still awaiting some points from the NBA and NHL. In fact, because those postseasons are so long, we'll get some points from those in Season 6. This is episode 18. We have 20 episodes per season for those tracking. Our scoreboard is still Johnny with 12 points, Josh with 11. I've got 11. So, man, we're in our game 7 ourselves, guys, as it turns out. No points from last week because the 120-something running of the Kentucky Derby happened, and Golden Tempo at 23-1 odds is your winner. Renegade, who was the highest odds to win, got second place. So that's a fun little story there at Churchill Downs. And we all lose. So that's the update there. Johnny, what are we picking this week?
We, this week, are going to pick some Premier League. So not just a game, mind you. And we had some drama actually earlier today, as of this recording, just a few hours ago on Monday. But let me set it up for you. We're going to be picking who's going to win the Premier League title and who's going to get that third relegation spot. I've mentioned it throughout the podcast this season because it's really, really fun this year. So let me give you a recap of what happened this weekend. So this weekend, right now, that final spot is really being fought for by West Ham and Tottenham. Now, West Ham lost 3-0 to Brentford on Saturday, which left the door open for on Sunday. Tottenham beat Aston Villa, who's probably a Champions League team this year, in the Premier League 2-1. So they were able to climb up in the table. And then today, Manchester City got down 3-1 to Everton, came all the way back and drew, but they were tied with Arsenal. So they only get a point out of that. And so now we have a lot of chaos, if you will, at the very top of the Premier League and at the very bottom. When I first wrote down that we were picking this today, I was expecting just a Manchester City win. And we were looking at potentially picking who's going to win on goal differential or a tiebreaker of some kind, expecting really Manchester City or Arsenal to win out, probably both of them with their schedule. So let me just kind of go over the standings really quick with you guys so that it makes sense. So now in first place, Arsenal is there, and they're up 5 points on Manchester City. But City has a game in hand, which means they're playing another additional game compared to Arsenal. So you assume City wins that game. The deficit's really 2 points, if you will. But because of that draw today, that sets them back where they would have been in line to tie up Arsenal, and we'd be talking about goal differentials today. So right now, Arsenal up that 5 point, Manchester City game in hand. West Ham at the bottom of the table now. The other teams have all won, like Nottingham Forest won their third game in a row today. Leeds has won like 3 of 4. Like everybody else has run away from the relegation zone. Burnley and Wolves adrift. They're done. West Ham and Tottenham are now a point apart after this weekend. Tottenham is up 1 singular point on West Ham with 3 matches to go in the season. That's for everybody else who's on track with where they should be. City's just played 1 fewer game because they have other competitions they're playing in as well. There's 3 games left, and they're all 1 point apart. And whoever goes down gets relegated. One of the funny things is West Ham's playing Arsenal this week. It's a really weird spot for Tottenham fans. I'm sure you're like, you want West Ham to lose, of course, so that you don't get relegated, but you also don't want West Ham to lose because that means Arsenal's 1 step closer to winning the title, especially now. So awkward times right now. So 3 games left to go for those teams. So we're picking who we think's going to get that last relegation spot and who's going to win the Premier League. Johnny,
I am pulling for the Gunners, as I believe they're called, so that you can be happy and you can get a championship. The team that I typically root for, and by root for, I mean I've never watched them play ever, is Wolves, and they are very adrift. 18 points this season. Mm-hmm. No bueno. Bye-bye, Wolves. Sorry. I do think West Ham is going to be the team that gets relegated because it's just too funny for Tottenham to get relegated, and it's just not going to happen. It's too
really
funny. It's too hilarious. Like the Dallas Cowboys are never going to go 0-17. It would be too funny.
Relegated
they may
to
go
the Big
4-13. They may go 5-12. Dak may throw for 6,000 yards, but their defense stinks. Like that may all happen. They're never going to be 0-17, 1-16. It's just not going to happen. Same thing here. Tottenham not going to be relegated. I fully expect Arsenal to take down West Ham. Burnley, as you said, very adrift. So it's really, we're just talking about those two. The other thing too is just by the statistics, Tottenham only -9, West Ham -19 in goal differential. So by letter of even just, okay, have you been getting a little lucky here and there? I think Tottenham has just enough luck in them.
Go ahead, Josh. You pick first.
Oh no,
I want to know it.
You want to know my thought? You want to know my thought process?
I want to know your thoughts.
I went Man City because I knew I was guessing on which one Arsenal fans don't like. I'm assuming you don't like either of the Manchesters.
Correct.
I am guessing you really don't like Man U.
Honestly, at this point, I hate City.
Okay, City it is.
The worst.
I got to do a spite pick. I've not really done. I've been picking in good faith for a while. I need to pick against one of you guys, and here we go.
Yeah,
and then I'm with Aaron. I'm looking at West Ham. My thought process for that was Manchester and West Ham sound very similar. So it's kind of like a yin-yang thing. In only my mind.
I love it. I can't disagree. I'm going with Arsenal because I can't make myself pick City. Like, I thought City was definitely going to win before today, this afternoon. Here's the trick with City and Arsenal. Arsenal's still in the Champions League. They're in the semifinals. They literally have their second leg on Tuesday, against Atletico Madrid. So they're running double duty. Manchester City, they're in the FA Cup final. They play Chelsea. They literally will end up having, I believe, 4 games in 7 days at one point. So There's a little bit of schedule congestion here for both of them. But Arsenal's playing West Ham. That might be one of the biggest games of the entire Premier League season, just for what it means for everyone. And West Ham, if you don't know, it's a giant club too. It's not a big six, but it's a huge London club. Them getting relegated is a pretty big deal too. Not as funny, but it's a big deal. Then Arsenal plays Burnley, which is great because Burnley's just gone and wasted away. And they play Crystal Palace. So Arsenal also has a schedule in favor. West Ham is actually going to be easily the toughest of those 3, no matter what, just because you don't want to be playing desperate teams at the end of the season. That's no good. So I have them. And on the other side, while I agree with you guys, Tottenham getting relegated is too funny. It's probably not going to happen. I have to pick my ideal situation here, and that's Arsenal winning the Premier League and their rivals getting sent down to the Championship. Tottenham does play Leeds next, though, who is hot. They're on fire. Leeds would like to just end all discussions of relegation. They're not really in the bubble anymore, but still, they're playing really well. Spurs plays Chelsea next, which is actually good. Chelsea's in terrible form. And then they play Everton, who just drew Manchester City. So they don't have an easy path there. But West Ham has to get a result from Arsenal. That's kind of where we're at, because they play Newcastle after that. They play Leeds after that. I think they kind of have to get a draw from the Arsenal game for us to be talking about it. And you guys then mentioned the goal differential, because that's the first tiebreak too. So even if, West Ham gets the draw and they're even on points after that, and they end up with the same amount of points, gosh, how devastating would that be for a fan base to get relegated? Forget about losing a championship on goal differential. How about getting relegated on goal differential? That's tough. So I'm excited. It's a great way to end the season. Fantastic races on both sides.
Yep. All right. Well, good luck to us all. I guess there's not going to really be points next week. So we will continue our Game 7 next week.
The guys spent hours scrolling social media, and they found some pretty dumb stuff. Now they want to talk to you about it.
Do they need a guy on weekends to walk around random McDonald's and dressed as a Grimacy? Because I'll take that.
Are you okay saying bad things about the British?
Good luck. It's time for What We're Following.
Johnny,
remember when
what you're
Johnny
following
was
is
talking
positive.
about? I was
So that's
about to
good.
do something mean, so so we'll let your positive spin.
I think we end with Johnny, is what I'm basically saying.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I was going to open with
Yeah, go
Johnny,
for it.
the amount of times that we talked about today of how much Boston will never be able to atone for their sins and they can go winless for 50 years in all four sports and it wouldn't matter. It's how I feel about the British.
That's crazy.
Every time that bumper comes up, I'm like, yeah, and I'll still do it. I don't even need to get paid.
Just do it for free. What's my segue here? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a segue. This is dumb. The NCAA has expanded the NCAA tournament to 76 teams, and everyone hates it, which I think is actually notable because when the college football playoff expanded, despite our best efforts and despite our pleading with you that this is not a good thing, and now look where we are, and you hate it, you know you do. Everyone kind of universally hates, like, because there were people that thought the college football playoff expansion would be fine, and it was not. But I think I have not seen anyone outside of maybe a Twitter bot say, "Oh, 76 teams, woo, yay! Now a 21-loss Big 12 school could get in the tournament." That's what we've really been missing. From a format perspective, we're obviously going from the first four, which of course were the first four games played in Dayton, to the first 12, I guess, because you're going to have 12 games played by 24 teams at two sites, one of them expected to be Dayton, one of them expected to be somewhere else. There's an article by Pete Thamel that I'm reading that thinks that probably for scheduling purposes, it will be west of the Eastern time zone, just so you don't have everything absolutely overlapping. It's just bad on so many levels because you're cheapening an already kind of cheap regular season. You are kind of ruining the magic of the first four, I would say. As someone who's spoiled and lives in Dayton and can get to these games on a regular basis, that's maybe a unique take to me. Here's another take, and I'm not sure we've talked about this before because we've talked on this show about the possibility of expansion. Right now, when you are telling someone who maybe is not that into basketball, but they want to fill out a bracket, it's pretty simple, right? Like you have your first four games, but it's symmetrical. It's 32 teams in a perfectly even linear bracket on one side. It's 32 teams in a perfect linear bracket on the other. Now with a 76-team field, the bracket is an absolute mess to fill out. And is that the biggest deal in the world? No. But are you trying to maybe draw in some more casual fans who like get a hold of college basketball in March and love it and may stick around? I would think you'd still want to do that. And it's something as simple as making the postseason format more convoluted that you may just miss some of those people. So I hate it for a variety of different reasons. Don't even start with, oh, well, these, mid-major teams that are 30-5, well, now they'll for sure get in the tournament. Will they? Will they?
No.
Because we have all this discussion about strength of schedule. We have this discussion that we talked about a lot about, power teams not scheduling the mid-majors. That's only going to get worse. Why? Because if you don't make the NCAA tournament at one of these power programs, why, if you are a head coach, should you be retained the following season? Because the bar is pretty darn low now to make the NCAA tournament. So it's really going to be, there's a lot more tournament or bust mentalities, right or wrong, that athletic departments are going to have. And so therefore don't schedule anybody that poses a risk. Just clean up your non-conference, get ready for your conference schedule, lose 20 games, but hey, you lost 20 games against good competition. Welcome to the NCAA tournament. So I am venting here. I hope I'm venting on your behalf, listeners and viewers, because I think we're probably all in the same boat here. If you feel different, please let us know. Comments of this video or of the podcast you're listening to, or on social media at 5th and Goal Sports on Instagram is a great place to do that if you want. So I'd like to think that I'm kind of speaking for us on behalf of all of us. But yeah, I'm frustrated. It's frustrating. It's not even the most like interesting NCAA tournament rule or NCAA rule that's come out recently. We'll dive into that more as we get closer to college football season, maybe, but it's kind of a mess and it's unfortunate, but we're kind of just accepting it at this point because it's just happening and we don't have any power to stop it.
Aaron, I do have one solution.
Oh, perfect.
I think you can get one of these things I'm about to show you. And I believe that it would solve a little bit of your issue in a way that is and I do emphasize safe. Guys, you familiar with Remington?
No.
They do guns.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there's been a few different types of Remington, but you've most likely heard of Remington Arms. They folded in 2020 along with other things, but they did guns and they made ammunition. Cool. We're caught up now. Mattel, are you familiar with that company?
Of course.
Barbie, Hot Wheels, other things, I'm sure. Well, in the 60s, this is before apparently they had the genius idea to do things like cool dolls and cars. Kids at that point did not like cars as much as they liked guns. I can only assume because in the 60s, Remington and Mattel came up with this beautiful what they called the Remington Derringer or Derringer.
Oh, the little pea shooter?
Yeah.
The Derringer, the little tiny handheld, really small gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they put that on a belt buckle for kids. The exact little Derringer, which is a real gun. It shoots a real bullet.
Is this before the orange, those little orange things on the fake guns too, Josh?
Yeah. Yeah, Johnny.
Oh, no.
They were proud of the fact that this was a real gun on a real belt buckle for real children.
What?
So here's the difference. It was a you could remove the belt buckle itself and actually aim the gun a little bit.
You're not aiming a Derringer. That's not the point.
It shot a gray. Yeah, no, it's a point blank only weapon. It is a last resort. It's right in the face. But it didn't shoot real bullets. I don't want anybody to worry. It shot gray plastic bullets, which in the 60s were still incredibly hard and heavy and probably...
What, were they made out of asbestos? Like what?
Most likely asbestos lead-lined plastic.
Maybe some mercury mixed in there.
It was a gray plastic bullet, but still spring-loaded into a metal shell. Or, in some editions, actually loaded with a little bit of gunpowder. And it could launch that little projectile, which, again, has about the size of a .22 bullet, if you've seen one of those. Can shoot it at about 12 to 15 feet. The issue is, and you're like, Josh, this sounds like a perfect toy for my child, whom I love so much. Before I buy this for 5-year-old Johnny, for him to wear around,
I would like this now, but
I was digging through. History Channel has like a little what is their series on it called? Hazardous History.
I might have to watch that. That sounds great.
Need to advertise that better.
I went through some. Yes, for once it's not aliens. It's actually history. It's not aliens or Hitler. It's just, it's a normal.
How do you think they got so hazardous?
Are you saying that Hitler invented the gun belt buckle?
No.
Or no, aliens. Sorry, aliens invented the gun belt buckle as a response to Hitler. Sorry. As we well know, and has been well documented.
Yeah, right.
So, Josh, you say my 5-year-old son, whom I love very much, I would love to give him this actual Derringer belt buckle gun toy. Are there any downsides? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you're doing your due diligence. It was known as, like Johnny said, the real Derringer. It's wildly inaccurate. It does not follow any potential direction you might expect it. It is the beginnings of chaos theory. Nobody knows where it goes. That's the real version. That's the version they make for people. You think they're going to put the same quality checks into a gun for kids?
It was even more accurate.
Man, it would be such a good story if it's like, no, this is actually used. This is an official apparatus for shooting competitions. No, I have a Dave Potchak. He has a blog where he talks about him being given one as a kid, and he asks his dad, "Hey, Dad," he's 10. "Hey, Dad, can I shoot you in the belly?" Holding this belt buckle no more than 18 inches from the dad's belly. And the dad says, "Sure, just be careful." Somehow that bullet went straight into his dad's eye. Which, as you are aware, is not what I would consider close to the belly.
Correct.
Many would say this.
It's like the Orlando Magic shooting in Game 6.
Yes. So I've been on eBay for the past while trying to find one. And even then,
the FBI is on their way.
And here's the thing. I keep putting just for a joke into my search terms. And they don't believe me anymore. I think they're worried. But what better thing for me to kind of solidify my Texanness, my Texicanity,
yes,
than to get a belt buckle that shoots people.
True.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Plastic. But 60s plastic, so
toxic.
Yeah.
It just bad in some way.
It's okay. Just add it to all the other microplastics in our bodies.
Nah, these, but I'm shooting a macroplastic at you.
You're right, Josh. None of these weak microplastics.
No, this is back when you could take your plastics like a man.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, these kids today are worried about microplastics. A macroplastic would hit me right in the eye, and I still have to go fight in the war. Oof.
Yep.
Goodness.
What war? The war on protein. But still the war.
Oh, quick. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I do. I am going to talk about I am going to talk about the war on protein update. I sent this to Aaron and Johnny when I was doing some shopping for a party. We now got protein Pop-Tarts, 10 grams of protein per serving. Saw those. So many of them. The word protein is bigger than the word Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, it is. Actually.
Who decided that there was a war? I don't understand. Like, what?
The people.
Where is this coming from?
I'll tell you off air, but you need to know.
I think it's extra insane for me coming from a person who eats several eggs and pieces of bacon every single morning, and then people are like, "There's a war on protein."
You're fighting the war. You're fighting the war.
You're this breakfast for 3
You're waging a war on
years.
protein on the side of protein, and we love that for you. If that's still not enough, because it isn't enough for you, you can go take yourself down to the your favorite coffee creamer store, usually just a grocery store. They'll get you some. Go get you some silk. Some silk protein. 13 grams of protein per serving of coffee creamer. Isn't that?
We're going to invent new illnesses of having an oversaturation of protein. We're going to invent new ones.
Because it's called constipation.
It's called I cannot go to the restroom
your
anymore.
Your body does just say too much. Go away.
Right.
Hey, here's a cool trend. Fiber. How much you eat a fiber one bar?
That will be the next
trend. How much protein does it have? Negative protein.
Now.
Yeah.
All right.
Invest now.
Get on Kalshi, which we highly don't recommend.
Do not get on Call Sheet, but if you do,
invest in fiber. I don't know how you do such a thing, but just do it.
I'm going to short the protein market and already have my futures in fiber.
Johnny, while Josh is doing that, it's a national holiday.
It is a national holiday. Really quick before then, though, I will say, because I've been meaning to bring this up, we all know that our favorite beloved hometown soccer team was saved many a year ago from the evil of MLS, Don Garber, and
Austin,
Anthony
Texas.
Precourt. Sadly, they have not learned their lesson fully, because now they are trying to steal the Vancouver Whitecaps from Vancouver.
What?
They are trying to move them, and a group has already made a bid for, I am sure you know what city, Las Vegas. Because we have to put everything in Las Vegas, which is stupid. They also already have a franchise, because soccer, all of these little towns and other cities that don't have an MLS team have other teams. You don't need to put a new franchise there. Just invest in the one that's currently there. Anyway, they're pulling a lot of the exact same things with the city technically owns the city that the Whitecaps play at. The Whitecaps want to be able to buy the team. The owners are crying poor. The current owners, they're saying nobody is, stepped up to the table locally to buy the team, i.e. meaning nobody's offered the same amount of money as the people in Las Vegas. Of course, Don Garber wants it to happen again, clearly. So I will just go on a soapbox another day with more details if I need to.
Gross.
Hopefully I don't. We are all backing Vancouver. Save the Caps. It is trending. They're a great team. They were so close to winning the MLS Cup last year. They literally got Thomas Mueller, one of the best German soccer players ever, who's on the team currently. Like, this is a team that draws. Like, this is not it's like the Crew. This is it's not one of the first initial heritage brands, but they have a lot of support. The Cascadia Cup with Portland and Seattle is awesome. They have a great fan base. They've been very successful, especially recently. There's absolutely no reason to move them. So that negative over, save the Caps is the point. But Aaron, yes, national holiday. May the 4th be with you guys. It's so rare that we actually get to have the podcast on a national holiday.
Maybe the first time.
It's adjacent. So I don't have anything particular. I just wanted to make sure that we mention it because it's on the podcast today. So celebrate however you wish. If you haven't watched Andor, watch Andor today. It's great. They have the new, in the same style as Clone Wars, that new Darth Maul animated show, Shadow Lord. I've watched the first couple episodes. That seems like it might be really good. I haven't watched the season ending. So, or maybe, you don't have time for that. Celebrate and buy some Star Wars Legos or a lightsaber. Indulge yourself. Buy a loved one an AT-AT or yes, the Death Star, the old school one's like $6,000. Buy a Venerator Class 3 Clone Wars battleship.
Yeah.
There are so many different ways to celebrate, and there are very few wrong ways. So may the 4th be with you guys.
I may have found a wrong way. That's going to Great American Ballpark this weekend for Star Wars Night, which can only just take a great thing and ruin it.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be fun. I'm getting a Baby Yoda bobblehead, it's like Baby Yoda with a baseball. Like, come on. So I am looking forward to that. That's Saturday.
Aaron, I've gone nowhere near that ballpark, by the way. That didn't happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're playing the Houston Astros too, so I can boo, which I'm excited about. Yeah.
Good work. Also,
first time seeing the Astros in person. So.
This is speaking of, this is all we're going to be doing tomorrow as Texans. Tomorrow, meaning yesterday, if you're listening to this on Wednesday. Just be better at listening to us, frankly. Taco Tuesday is a Cinco de Mayo. Go party hard. Taco hard. And if you're listening to this on Wednesday and you're going, oh no, I've missed it. That's the beauty of America. We make more tacos the next day. So you are still able to participate.
Yeah. Yeah. We've already got our I'm going to go nachos, but which I know is maybe sacrilege, but same idea. I've got that scheduled for tomorrow, so looking forward to it.
Oh, there's places down here that do chicken and waffle tacos, where it's a piece of fried chicken and syrup in the shell, so to speak, is a folded up waffle.
I need that in my life. Next time I'm down there, Josh. Yep.
Both of you just got this look in your eye of like, can we super commute?
Can I get that now?
Oh man. Yeah. Producer Chris from The Void says that he also wants this. So you know what? Okay. Maybe podcast road trip coming to a city near you, Josh, which is Dallas, because that's where
I'll take you to Globe Life, and you can see what a recent World Series winner in stadium looks like.
Thank you for that.
I'll probably curse them.
Yep.
And then we can all boo AT&T Stadium. Maybe I'll sneak you guys in again.
Yeah, that's right. We were allowed.
Welcomed.
We were 100% welcomed in. We did not sneak in. I don't know who said that.
That's right.
Because it's untrue.
Correct.
We were invited. I looked at an open door being held open by someone. I said, "Thank you for letting me in." He kind of just nodded. And then when we got onto the tour and the gentleman said, "Where are we from?" and we answered truthfully, he said, "Awesome. Welcome to the tour."
This is all
as we were true. Welcomed by everybody we asked.
Yeah, we were welcomed into AT&T Stadium. All right, listeners, viewers, thanks for being here. We appreciate your support as always. We'll see what happens in the NHL, MLB, NBA, soccer, MLS, all of it. It's all happening right now. Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you back here next week. Have a good one.